Lux Anguis here, and welcome, my beloved ladies and gentlemen, to a new and profound insight that I want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, which is simply but profoundly about quote unquote fighting your own inner demons. Well, in actuality, you're not fighting anything. What you in actuality is doing is, in a sense, overcoming and integrating. Overcoming, in a sense, what this negative aspect of your own self has built inside and around you. And by you overcoming it is, in a sense, fighting it, to certain degrees. But it's not like you're fighting yourself, you're fighting this aspect of yourself to break yourself, to destroy yourself, and to split off of yourself. That's not the ultimate goal, what you want to achieve, or my opinion, observation and praxis with your own negative aspects of your own self. Any negative aspects, I don't mean negative energy necessarily, negative aspects in a sense which keeps you stuck at a certain self-developmental stages, at a certain awareness, at a certain maturity grade. And sometimes it's not well developed, and that's why you do some effed up decisions, and the resulting from that effed up habits and self-concepts and images that does not serve you, but actuality degrade you and keep you stuck there and attract more and more bullshit into your life, that that keeps the garden blooming from all of these wonderful bullshits. And down you go on another level of self-degradation, self-degeneration, and feeling ashamed for what you're doing and for what you are and what you're being, and it just doesn't get any better like that. That's what I mean with negative aspects of your own self, nothing else. And it's like, these in a sense are like your own demons, but in a Christian term, demons, not in an old Greece or Greek form daimon, like intelligence demons, the negative aspects, some parasitic aspects of your own self, which doesn't serve your own highest good and highest benefit, so to say. So I find it's very important, the more you grow on your own path of spirituality, of magic, of occultism, and whatever you may pursue, the path of power, the path of self-mastery, the path of illuminated darkness, the left-hand path, it's usually occupied by people who can develop a lot of addictions and who have a lot of addictions. It's quite a paradox. It's like usually such people, such a collective of individuals, they want to achieve a personal type of power, a personal type of individuality, liberation and freedom and power to choose, in actuality, ultimately speaking, to live their whole life out of a standpoint of authenticity. Their own created liberation and freedom is created out of their own version and awareness of power and freedom. I cannot tell you for what you see freedom as, having a lot of power so that nobody can decide for you this and that, etc. I cannot tell you this. You must discover this by self-reflection and by going into your own self and listening and discovering what does truly resonate with you and keeps you going on this path. But for you embodying this freedom, for you embodying this power, this healing, this integration, first, what comes first is walking through and removing anything that hinders the process of integrating and embodying freedom and power and healing. And usually what is hindering that are some negative aspects of your own self that you may not have addressed because it has been so well masked with unhealthy coping mechanisms and fake identities and mentalities, that you think that everything is okay and this and that, but no, it's actually not. The more you progress on this path, what also must progress is your shadow integration, is your overcoming and being real, overcoming the fake identities, overcoming the safety mechanisms, unhealthy ones, may I add, unhealthy safety mechanisms, which causes you to further shell yourself from yourself, and usually what these are like pent up emotions, memories, even projections by your family members or people around you, or generational traumas, or bad people, and even generational curses or witchcraft from other people, etc. Like, this can take so many forms and tribulations on your own path. It's crazy, I know. And what you must do for you embodying this type of freedom and power, you must remove anything and everything that is hindering this process. And if you do it correctly, which I believe you do, if you come so far in this video and are seriously considering what I'm telling you, I'm sure that 80 to 90% you are a serious practitioner of your own craft. If you, of course, practice more so high magic or higher spirituality than just low magic, just focusing your own soul and spirit resources for manifesting low grade self beneficence. What I mean by that, again, every type of magic does activate shadow work, because it needs from you, for you to handle the manifestation correctly, it needs you to be on the maturity level, on the capacity level, on the vessel level that you need to be to receive and to handle the energies you have called forth and you want to manifest. So every work will require from you, even low magic, just focusing on material gain will require from you maturity, capacities, an openness to receive and to handle these energies regardless. But like, I'm telling you, you will face your demons, your negative aspects when you cater more to the practice of high magic. And now in high magic, what I define high magic as is coming closer through your authentic self, to your true will, to your embodiment of the most highest version of yourself. Embodiment, becoming one with a diamond, with your infernal or sonic or primordial intelligence, and not only that, you can also integrate becoming one with your own higher guardian angel as well. It depends on which path you're going right now down. But like any ritualistic practice and spiritual practices that you do that helps you come closer to your self-created destiny, or to your freedom of your destiny, to your embodiment of a true will and power and self-agency on many levels, not just material, also spiritual, supernatural levels. That is considered high magic. Especially you, ladies and gentlemen, will be faced with overcoming your own demons and integrating your own demons and negativity around and inside of you. And the point is, what you're doing in actuality, and hear me out, it's not to build a fake identity, a fake ego around the fact that you live a certain negative way, and now all of a sudden it doesn't work like that. If you pretend in a sense for identity shift and such, that you're no longer this person, you are highly mistaken. You are this person right now. The point is, self-awareness is the first step of betterment. How can you become self-aware if you intentionally ignore the fact that you are right now this type of addicted person, that you are right now this type of agitated person, this type of tired person, this type of, you can only release this emotion and embodiment if you are true to yourself. You say, yeah, okay, I have right now this addiction. Yeah, okay, I have right now this problem in my life. I acknowledge it. It's true. Unfortunately, I am right now this, and I allow myself for once to feel the pent-up emotions which caused me to be this way. That's all what it wanted from you, in some sense. Just think about it. You are now self-aware. You have this negative habit, this negative addiction. Now, for example, you work with an angel called, for example, OCL. And OCL helps you to change certain aspects of your own self. Change some habits, etc. It's just an example. And you are aware this is a bad habit that perpetuates, that you're continuing this in this addictive cycle you're stuck in. So you call upon this angel and this force, and it 50% helps you by overcoming. Why 50%? Another 50 must come from you. It's every time like that. The another 50% that this magic, this healing works must come from you. So this angel helps you, angel Osiel helps you to become aware and have kind of the mental fortitude to say no. You know, to say, I don't want this, I don't want to do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I need to stop this. So, perfect. You have right now the self-awareness and the strength to not touch this peculiar element which perpetuates your addictions in a negative aspect of your own self. So what happens next? You know, there's a void, there's an emptiness there. You have now unlocked space, potential to use for your own self. Because instead of, I don't know, smoking, instead of, I don't know, behaving in devious, you know, low manner, what's between your legs, you know what I mean? What, you know what I regard to this deviancy, a certain deviancy. Instead of doing and pursuing lower passions, or instead of just observing like an empty golem, a TV screen or a phone screen, you have now time at your hands and energy at your hands that previously has been occupied and captured by this negative aspect, by this coping mechanism. So what happens next? It's like, oh shit, I have now time and more freedom and more awareness at my hands. What I need to do, what you should do at these moments, you know. And that is your work that you need to do as an individual on this path. You know, this angel will not do everything for you. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but like you still need to do your work too. It's a teamwork. It's not just, you know, you laying around and fuck not, you know. It's a teamwork. What next it expects from you is by you embracing, in a sense, the opposite what you have did. What I mean by that, by you, instead of just laying around, which can be healthy too, if you feel in your own authentic self, you need to lay around and for once kind of, yeah, exactly, that's also what I want to get towards, is the next step is to incorporate a spiritual practice. And now if that is your main focus, there's your developmental stages, and you want to grow on the spiritual path, magical path, then you should incorporate a holistic practice, which can be, for example, meditation, you know, simple meditation, but with intentions behind it. You should meditate instead of occupying your negative space, because what you want to do is basically feel the feelings, feel the energies, and integrate the energies by just being for once. Just be, you know, just be, just feel, just be, and just embrace yourself, so you can neutralize the energies which perpetuated you for pursuing these addictions. I know you must, in a sense, allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to neutralize and integrate these energies. How can I do this? By just simple meditations in silence. There is no music going, there is no instructions or yoga going. You just lay there like a corpse, or sit there like a monk, you know, just cross-legged, eyes closed or eyes open, or staring to the wall, or on the ceiling, wherever, and you're not doing anything but just being. You can think what you want, you can feel what you want, what you need, and by this happening, you for once allow your own mind, your own subconsciousness, your own body, your own brain to rest, which it hadn't had the opportunity since it was so occupied and focused upon stimulating low dopamine, stimulating low pleasures in your life, and thus binding yourself to low energies. But now you are freeing yourself from this perpetuating cycle of self-degradation, being stuck in this negative cycle, So you will, in a sense, feel all of the captured energies that has been taken from you, that has been suppressed from and by you, And when this is happening, when you feel alright over time, like you must be disciplined. It's not a one-time do-all thing. It must be daily. It must be daily. Like if you are heavy into your bullshit, at least for 21 days, because after 21 days to approximately 21 to 26 days, your new habit becomes a part of you, and after 6 months it has become fully a lifestyle. You don't even think about it anymore, or in 90 days it's like fully programmed in your own subconscious mind, etc. So it requires from you discipline, willpower, self-love, self-acceptance, to change yourself around with little increments. I don't want you to overwhelm yourself either, because that causes even more procrastination and more fallback, because you overwhelm again with your own system. If you do it too much, your system will shut down and will like, oh, it's too much, it's worse than before. Your own conscious mind is like, come on, but like your subconscious mind is like, I'm too unhealed for this bullshit. I am too overwhelmed with these newly found occupations and obligations I need to fulfill for this, that. No, you don't need to fulfill it. You must also change your mentality around it. It's like it's your mission, it's your practice of self-love, self-acceptance, self-healing. You do it for yourself. You do it to love yourself. You do it to heal yourself. You do it to empower and to expand yourself in your potential and your evolution. It's all it is. It's not about gruesome discipline and endless willpower and no happiness and this and that. It's not about that either, because then it's like torture, too. In certain degrees, it's still torture. And you must deal with it regardless, because there is coming some negative emotions up, etc. A fight up. But you fall down 2 times, you stand up 3 times. And now, if you cannot stand up, you rest, so you can stand up again. That's the mentality you should have about all of this. If you quote unquote fail, for me failing is just resting. You rest for 1 day or 2 days or even 1 week, it doesn't matter, but inside of your head, inside of your heart and soul and spirit, you stand up again and you will do your best to do it again. And one sure day, sooner than later, with this mentality, with this self-assuredness and willpower and self-love for yourself, you will break through and you will soar to the skies of your own highest evolutions. That's all about it. But start slow, start little, start with one negative habit, start with one negative cycle, start with one addiction which seems to bother you the most, And before I end this video, I want to reassure you too, on my end, I'm not perfect either. Literally, I'm not. Never will be. Never pretend to be. I'm not. I will always be my authentic and true self. For example, out of my own life, I found spiritual practice of any kind, be it meditation, rituals, mantras, to be a very important foundation in my daily practice. So like, but for whatever reason, because of negative life circumstances, I have, for example, allowed myself to get into this negative habit of using the phone in the morning. You know how bad it is for your own self to use the phone immediately at the morning, right? It's like it spikes immediately cortisol, like the stress hormone in your own body up. It spikes stress up. It spikes, you know, shortage of attention span up. It spikes so many negative health side effects up. It's crazy. But you just immediately grabbing your phone and just looking for some bullshit on the phone. Literally. And you know, and I just felt like over time, like this can't be it. You know, I cannot be there in the morning on my damn comfy bed and waste 1 hour to 40 minutes, or sometimes if the days were even better, you know, the emotions even stronger, for even 3 or 4 hours. This can happen too. And I was like, alright, I know this. I cannot, ultimately speaking, I cannot continue this bullshit. I cannot perpetuate this. I cannot take myself serious like that. You know, that is not my standard. That is not my niveau that I have for myself. That's not it. You know, and also it's also very important, your self-image and self-worth. You know, you must also scale it, heal it to scale it, healing it to scaling it, you know, in an authentic manner. You don't want to be an ignorant piece of shit, feeling you own the world and being this overly macho girl boss or man macho or what have you, you know, without you putting actuality work, without you putting actuality effort and experiences behind it. That's just stupid, that's just inauthentic, that's just ignorant, you know. That doesn't make sense. You lie to yourself and you even perpetuate more shame for yourself. Unconsciously speaking, shame is one of the worst emotions you can be in. Be authentic, you know. Even if you're like a weak ass person, you say like, yeah, I'm a fucking weak ass person, so what? I'm not aware. Awareness is the first step of betterment, if I want to better myself. Well, at least you're real with yourself, you're real with the world, like, yeah, I have these weaknesses right now. Yes, it's true. I'm not gonna lie about it. And you become instantly more charming, isn't it? Like that. You instantly become like, alright, this dude seems real. You know, it's like, duh. You know. So, yeah. Like, if this does come from a place of authenticity, you didn't put in the work, the experience, the maturity to embody this type of things, you're just simply lying to yourself, and it is bound to fail sooner or later, you know. It's like that. There's no real foundations to behave and be like that, and that's not a good place to be in. So it's the same thing for me, you know. I was aware of damn shit. That cannot be it. I cannot allow myself to fall so deeply down into this bad habit and addiction that I lose so much potential in time, because time is lost. This time never you gain back, you know. So I put in the work. I worked with angelic intelligences. I worked with meditations. to be aware and say, I stop this cycle right now, and I started, instead of wanking off on a phone with my attention, you know, of course with nothing different, instead of doing that, I just started meditation instead. I don't pick up the phone, I don't see on the phone maybe the time here and there, but first thing first I do is to focus on my self-development, focus on meditation, focus on integration first, think in the morning. And approximately after 1 hour or after 2 hours, I use more regularly the phone, and that's the starting condition, and it has already freed so much time, potential and healthy space for me up to regulate myself and to be myself more, you know, that's just one example that I want to give you out of my own personal life, and I'm successful at it, and it's positively benefiting, changing my life on the long run. And now just imagine, you can every day in the morning approximately about 1 hour more or 2 hours more to live and to practice what you want to do, and you actively occupy it, and you do this every day for 1 year. You just imagine by the amount of growth you have done at this time and age and this point. Crazy, right? So yeah, on that note, my beloved ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience, thank you for your attention and taking it seriously. I love you, thank you, and we shall see and hear us again. Naga bless.